Well, we went off in an attack, and there was a farmhouse in the Siegfried line. It had walls about 1.5 to 2 feet thick. And on the second floor were officers, and they were directing fire against the Germans. And while we were there, one fellow had to relieve himself upstairs. It's pretty serious. And these Vietnamese came in, and he was upstairs. Next thing you know, he was downstairs with his pants over his knees, looking very sheepish. It blew him from upstairs downstairs, and by that time, it broke up the tension. And we started laughing. Now, Rim says, we gotta go get the platoon. I said, what do you mean? He says, well, Thomas was behind you and we lost the platoon. So I said, okay, we lost the platoon. We'll go. So we ran out from this house and got out about 30, 40 yards. And Reem stopped and I stopped. And he turned, and all of a sudden he's bolting for the door where we just came out, and I'm right with him. And I got in the door first, and he knocked me over when he came in. And what had happened, there's a salvo of the screaming memes, about 6 of them landed where we had been. He says, well, we got to go back out there again. I said, oh, yeah, thanks. So we turned and we started out again, and we got out to the place where he dropped his rifle. I'd asked him prior to this, where's your rifle? I dropped it out there. So we looked for his rifle, and all we could find was his front sight. It was a Garand. And I had a front sight with a skew on my rifle. So I picked it up and put it in my pocket. And we went on. And we went off to the left and several, maybe 150 yards or so. And there was a slit trench, very convenient. And all of a sudden, someone cut loose with a machine gun, and it was kicking up ditches of dirt right along our feet, and we both dove into that slit trench. When I dove into it, my rifle dug down into the mud. Now I had mud on the muzzle. And we didn't get hurt. So he says, come on, we gotta go. We gotta go get the platoon. I said, I'm not going anywhere. Well, what do you mean? I said, I gotta clean my rifle. Sabetay, you're crazy. So I proceeded to clean my rifle. I was in the slit trench and some safety. And I got it clean, and then we took off running again. And we ran out, and then we made a left turn with a big broad field. And there were 2 gate posts out in the middle of nowhere without any gates on them. Iron gates, and they were about 3 or 4 feet wide each. And they're about, about 12, 15 feet apart. And by that time, he ran behind the furthest one, I ran behind the nearest one, and just as we got behind it, somebody cut loose with a machine gun, and it was knocking flicks of brick off the other side. So we decided to stay there until they were running the whole magazine out, and then we would go. And so we did that. And we finally come to a pillbox, and we found the lost platoon. And now this will kind of tickle you. We said to Thomas, what were you doing there? He says, well, we found the German machine gun and we were firing.